Good grief, I love these beautiful old vector war room maps from 1980s movies, but what gives them that distinct visual aesthetic? Some of the things that I recognize are really basic vector geometry and a solid black background with primary colors, usually blue and green. And they all have that cool phosphorescent bleed at the edges of their pixels and the CRT scan lines. Graticules are always a great place to start when you want your map to look as cool and authoritative as possible. The simple geometry I got from Project Linework, drawn by Dylan Moriarty. And of course I need to make this background black. That's step one. And for these vector features, I'm going to do a simple trick, which is just duplicate the stroke in the symbol layers and give it a thicker version of the stroke and make it 80% transparent and do that 3 times. And each one gets a little thicker. So 2 points, 4 points, and then 6 points for thickness. And all of them are 80% transparent. And the original thin one is 0% transparent. And then you get a kind of a blue glow, and I'll do the same thing but with green colors. Slightly lighter version of green for that center thin color, and then a darker semi-transparent version for the thicker colors. And you get this kind of CRT phosphorescent bleed over from those pixels that are firing. And just as a sneaky shortcut, I'll steal the symbology that I've just applied and apply it to my next layer. So for these point symbols, I'm going to dig into the symbol properties, and similarly, I'll give it no fill, but I'll give it multiple strokes, a solid thin stroke, and then thicker semi-transparent strokes on the outside, so it looks like they're glowing. I'll do the same thing for medium cities. I'll leave it a circle and give it a glowing ring appearance. For these very large cities, in the reference images, some of them were filled in white, like a big white glow, where presumably a horrible explosion had happened. So I'm going to leave the fill white, a very light blue, and I'm going to make the stroke, again, glow with that same old stacked semi-transparent line trick. And the result is a slightly soft-edged, glowing little circle. I've also got these little water features. I'll give it no fill, and that same old trick, the solid, light inner line, and then a darker version, semi-transparent and thicker, over and over and over. 2 points, 4 points, 6 points. And they look like cool 1980s attack submarines. Now I'm going to ArcGIS Online, and I'm going to add a flight paths layer. This is a tiled layer of global flight paths created by the Story Maps team. And it's a little bit more muted than I'd like, so I'm going to drag it all the way to the top, and I'm going to give it a blend mode of hard light. That'll make it more saturated color-wise to fit our palette. And I'm going to duplicate it by clicking the Control key and dragging, and then I'll give it a linear dodge blend mode just to lighten it up a little bit and give it the density that I'm looking for. Now I'm going to Living Atlas, and I've searched for a layer called Global Background, and that's my favorite layer. It's just a big rectangle that covers the whole world. And instead of gray, solid, I'll give it a hatched fill, and I'll make the hatches 2 points and space them out a little bit and make them horizontal. And I'm going to give them this light gray color because I'm going to apply a blend mode of overlay. Overlay will brighten everywhere where there was that light stripe. So you get this kind of CRT scan line, horizontal line effect, like you're looking at an old TV, an old monitor. Try this out. It's so simple, but it's so fun.